All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into this incredible story of faith versus chaos from ancient scripture. It's really all about one family line that was called to be a light against a very organized darkness that was threatening to just consume their entire world.
Okay, so to really appreciate the courage of the family in our story, you first have to understand the terrifying world they were born into. I mean, this wasn't just, random wickedness. This was calculated, organized evil operating from the shadows.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll look at the rise of this corrupt secret society. Then, the righteous family that was chosen to stand up to it. We'll get into a really important call from the wilderness, how a sacred mantle gets passed down, and then finally, this shocking mission that was given to a young guy who felt, let's just say, totally unprepared for it all.
All right, let's dive right in. The world that a patriarch named Cainan was born into, man, it was defined by this terrifying social decay. There was this powerful, really destructive force that was just taking root and spreading like a poison all across the land.
And this was not just some random gang of thugs, okay? The Mahonite cult, it was a super organized system, a secret society built on these powerful binding oaths. And its whole purpose? To let its members murder, steal, and get power, and get away with it, all while being protected by their secret network. It's pretty chilling when you think about it.
The scripture actually says that Satan had great dominion among men, and wow, the results were just devastating. The very fabric of society was literally ripping apart. I mean, what started with these secret crimes, it just blew up into open warfare. It was a time when a man's hand was literally against his own brother, all in the pursuit of power.
And get this, what's so fascinating about this slide is the detail it gives us. This quote from the prophet Helaman, who, by the way, faced a really similar society in his own time, he explains exactly how they did it. They had secret signs and secret words, all to identify each other, right? And this created this brotherhood of crime, where everyone was sworn to protect each other, no matter how wicked the stuff they were doing was.
So, in the middle of all this, the spreading chaos, one family was chosen. They were chosen to carry this mantle of righteousness, to basically act as a beacon of light in all that darkness.
And Cainan, he was born right smack in the middle of this storm. Can you just imagine being his father Enoch, trying to raise a good kid in a world that dangerous? The source calls Cainan a choice spirit, which really suggests he had this built-in goodness, something that was going to be desperately needed in his generation.
And this timeline here, it just illustrates that sacred trust so well. This wasn't just a one-time thing, right? It was a chain of faith passed from father to son. You see it go from Cainan to Mahalaleel, then to Jared, and finally to Enoch. Each generation had the same job: hold the line against the darkness that was trying to swallow everything up. Now, Canaan's character, well, it definitely didn't go unnoticed by heaven. In fact, there was a key event really early in his life that would pretty much set the course for his entire future.
So get this, that just 40 years old, which is way before he was expected to take on the full leadership role from his dad, something incredible happened. God called on Cainan directly, spoke to him while he was all alone out in the wilderness.
Okay, so the really crucial point here is that leadership in this family line wasn't just about being the oldest son. Cainan probably had older brothers, but this direct revelation from God, it marked him as the chosen one. It was a crystal clear sign to his father that Cainan was the son who was worthy to carry on the sacred authority of their lineage.
So we know he was chosen, but how was this sacred authority, this priesthood, officially passed down? While the process itself reveals another really fascinating piece of the story.
Okay, so there was this custom, a sacred one. Father Adam himself, the very first patriarch, was supposed to ordain each new heir. But this created a huge logistical problem. There had been a massive migration, and now Adam and Cainan were living in totally different places. So how on earth could this essential ceremony even happen?
And the answer? Well, it didn't come for almost 50 years after his call in the wilderness. It's when Cainan was 87 years old that this one-of-a-kind, almost random-seeming event finally made his official ordination possible.
This is just incredible. Cainan wasn't, on some big quest to find Adam. He was just traveling to a place called Shedelamook. It was on that journey that he had this totally unexpected run-in with Adam himself. And this chance meeting, it fulfilled the sacred custom, because Adam ordained him right then and there. It solidified his role completely.
Okay,
So fast forward a few generations. After Cainan, Mahalaleel, and Jared had all carried that mantle, it fell to Jared's son, Enoch. And when his call came, let's just say he was faced with his own deep and very, very human challenges.
So near this landmark called Mount Simeon, Enoch gets a divine commission. Go and prophesy to the people. But his reaction, it wasn't some zealous, yes, I'll do it. It was pure shock. He actually started protesting, listing all the reasons why he was the wrong guy. He said, I am but a lad, all the people hate me, for I am slow of speech. It's such a human moment, right? That feeling of being completely unqualified for a huge task. I think a lot of us can relate to that.
And that just leaves us with this powerful question to think about. Enoch saw his youth, his speech impediment. He saw them as crippling weaknesses. But it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When you're answering a higher call, can the very things that you see as your biggest disadvantages, can they actually become your greatest strengths?